Rachel and I met in college. She was studying psychology, and I was buried in business courses. We started dating young, full of energy and stupid dreams. After graduation, I landed a decent job in finance. Rachel bounced between small jobs, but never stayed long. She said she wanted to find something meaningful. I told her I'd support her while she figured it out. At first, it worked fine. I covered the rent, bills, groceries, everything we needed. She handled cooking, cleaning, and the small house things. It felt fair, or at least I told myself it did. We moved into a small apartment downtown. It wasn't fancy, but it was ours. I bought her flowers every Friday. She'd light candles when I came home late. We laughed, argued, made up, and planned the future. I really thought we were building something real. When I looked at her, I saw forever. She'd tease me for gaming too much. I'd complain when she ordered random stuff online. But none of that mattered. Because at the end of every fight, she'd hug me tight. She'd whisper, "You're my home." And I believed her every time. Our friends called us the stable couple. The ones who'd never fall apart. I took pride in that. I worked long hours but didn't mind. Every paycheck reminded me why I did it. I wanted her to feel secure. I wanted to give her everything she said she dreamed of. She'd talk about maybe opening a daycare one day. Or getting her master's degree someday. Someday was always the word she used. And I waited. I didn't push her. I thought patience meant love. I thought being understanding was enough. She'd stay up watching shows while I finished emails. Sometimes I'd look over and think, this is happiness. We weren't perfect, but who is? We had a rhythm, a quiet comfort. Her smile was my reset button after rough days. I never imagined she could betray that peace. Even when she drifted, I pulled her back with love. When her moods changed, I blamed stress, not distance. She'd say she felt lost sometimes. I'd tell her we'd figure it out together. That's what marriage was supposed to mean. Two people against the world. She said she appreciated me, said I was her anchor. I took that as enough. Looking back, I realized I was holding everything together alone. I was the stability she leaned on, not the partner she stood beside. Still, I ignored the signs. The late nights scrolling through her phone. The sudden laughter at texts she never explained. The small secrets that didn't seem worth a fight. I brushed them all aside. Because I loved her too much to see what was coming. I told myself, trust her, she deserves that. But trust, once misplaced, becomes blindness. And I was blind for far too long. It started with a group chat blowing up her phone. Rachel's best friend, Amber, was getting married. She planned an all-day bachelorette party, sunrise to midnight. Brunch, a party bus, dinner, clubs, and something special after. Rachel was thrilled from the moment she heard about it. She said she needed a night to let loose. I didn't think twice about it at first. Amber was always dramatic, but mostly harmless. Rachel spent the whole week getting ready. She bought new clothes, makeup, and perfume. Even scheduled a salon visit for her hair and nails. She tried on 3 different dresses in front of the mirror. One of them shimmered like a disco ball under light. It was shorter than anything she'd worn before. When I asked if it was too much, she laughed. "It's just us girls, babe, don't worry." I smiled, pretending I didn't care. But something about the way she said it felt off. Like she was trying too hard to sound casual. The night before the party, she barely slept. She kept packing and unpacking her bag, adjusting outfits. I joked that it was just a bachelorette, not the Oscars. She rolled her eyes and said, "You don't get it." And maybe I didn't. That morning, she woke up early, blasting music in the bathroom. I watched her through the doorway as she did her makeup. She looked beautiful but different. There was a glow that wasn't for me. She twirled once and asked, "Do I look okay?" I said, "You always do." She smiled, kissed my cheek, and whispered, Don't wait up. That line hit me harder than it should have. When she left, the apartment felt too quiet. I told myself she deserved to have fun. She'd been stressed lately. Maybe this would help. Still, I couldn't shake the unease sitting in my chest. Throughout the day, she posted pictures with her friends. Party bus selfies, champagne glasses, neon lights. All smiles, all laughter, nothing suspicious. But as the night went on, the updates stopped. No stories, no texts, no replies. I checked my phone every hour, pretending not to care. Finally, around midnight, she sent a blurry group photo. The caption said, "Wish you were here, lol." I sent a thumbs up and went to bed alone. But sleep didn't come easy. Her tone, her energy, her sudden silence, it all felt wrong. When the sun came up, I heard the door creak open. Rachel stepped inside, shoes in her hand, makeup smeared. She looked exhausted, almost defeated. Her voice was hoarse when she said, "Hey." Then she walked straight to the bedroom and collapsed. No kiss, no explanation, just silence. I stood there watching her breathe, confused. Something inside me whispered, something happened. But I pushed the thought away. I didn't want to believe it. I made coffee and waited for her to wake up. Hours passed before she stirred. She smiled weakly and said, "That was wild." Her laugh was forced, her eyes empty. I asked what happened. She said, "Just girl stuff, you know." But I didn't know. And deep down, I think she knew I didn't believe her. That was the day I stopped feeling like her husband and started feeling like an outsider in my own home. The next few days felt strange. Rachel acted normal on the surface, but something was missing. She laughed at my jokes, but her eyes didn't match the sound. When I kissed her, she turned her face slightly away. Her phone became her new best friend. Always face down, always locked, always close to her. Before, she'd leave it anywhere, charging in the kitchen or on the bed. Now, she carried it like a secret she couldn't drop. At dinner, she'd smile at the screen more than at me. Sometimes she'd type quickly, then stop when I walked in. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. I trusted her. At least I used to. But the small changes kept stacking up. She stopped sitting next to me on the couch. She'd stay up late pretending to watch shows. Her laugh had changed too, softer, quieter, guilty almost. Every night I felt like she was somewhere else, mentally gone. When I asked if something was wrong, she shrugged. "Just tired," she'd say. Tired became her favorite excuse. Tired of work. Tired of people. Tired of questions. I tried to be patient, to give her space. I told myself marriage had ups and downs. That maybe she was going through something personal. But the truth was, I could feel her slipping away. Even the dog noticed. He'd sit by the door waiting for her, then go lie down when she ignored him. Our home didn't feel like home anymore. The silence was heavier than any argument. One night, I reached out to hold her hand. She froze for a second before letting me. Her fingers were cold, her touch brief. She turned her face to the other side and said goodnight. That was when I knew something was breaking. Not loud, not sudden, just slow and painful. Like glass cracking beneath pressure. I started paying attention to details. Who she texted. When she smiled. When she avoided my eyes. Every clue screamed the same truth I didn't want to accept. Something happened at that party. I could feel it in my bones. Still, I kept pretending. I made breakfast. I asked about her day. I said I loved her, hoping she'd say it back the same way. But her, "I love you" felt mechanical now. No warmth, no weight. I wondered if she was saying it out of habit. At work, I caught myself zoning out. Replaying that night in my head. The outfit. The smile. The morning after. I knew I was losing her, but I didn't know to what. A mistake. A person. A lie. I didn't have proof, only a gut feeling that refused to fade. And gut feelings don't lie. I told myself if something really happened, I'd find out. I wasn't the jealous type, but I wasn't stupid either. Love had blinded me once. This time, I was finally starting to see. It happened on a Thursday morning. I was supposed to leave for a one-day business trip. Bags packed, coffee ready, car keys in hand. Then my boss texted, "Trip canceled, meeting postponed." I sighed, annoyed but also relieved to have a free day. I didn't tell Rachel I'd be staying home. I figured I'd surprise her, maybe take her to lunch. When I pulled into the driveway, her car was already there. The house was quiet, blinds half closed, sunlight leaking through. I walked in softly, not wanting to wake her. Then I heard her voice. She was in the bedroom, door slightly open. She was on the phone, whispering. Her tone stopped me cold. Not cheerful, not casual, just heavy and low. "I know I feel bad about it," she said. My heart froze. I stayed still, trying to understand. Then she continued, "It just happened, I didn't plan it." My breath caught in my throat. She paused again, listening. "I mean, we were dancing and he kissed me. Next thing you know, we're in the bathroom." Every word felt like a bullet. She laughed quietly after saying it. Not nervous laughter, real laughter. Like she was telling some wild story to a friend. "It was quick," she said. "I barely remember parts of it. I was so drunk. Everyone was cheering. I just said screw it." I felt my knees go weak. I pressed my back against the wall to stay upright. Her words kept echoing. She sounded carefree, almost proud. There wasn't a hint of regret in her voice. I wanted to storm in and scream. But I couldn't move. I couldn't even breathe right. I just stood there, realizing my marriage was already gone. She kept talking. "He left before we even finished the night. Didn't even say goodbye. Such an idiot." Then another laugh. That laugh burned into me. I walked away quietly, down the hall to the bathroom. I locked the door and stared at myself in the mirror. I looked calm, but inside everything was falling apart. I splashed water on my face, trying to wake up from it. But this wasn't a dream. This was real. My wife had cheated on me. And she was laughing about it. I sat on the toilet lid, clothes still on, head in my hands. No tears, no anger, just emptiness. I'd given her everything, and this was what I got back. 10 minutes later, I walked out quietly. She was still on the phone, still laughing. I grabbed my keys, walked out the door, and got in my car. I didn't know where to go, only that I couldn't stay. The world outside looked the same, but nothing was. I texted my best friend Ryan. "Dude, I think she cheated." He replied fast. "Where are you? Meet me at our spot." I drove there in silence. No music, no thoughts, just the sound of betrayal ringing in my head. Ryan was already waiting when I got there. He sat on the hood of his car, arms crossed, eyes serious. I parked beside him and got out without saying a word. He looked at me and said quietly, "You okay?" I shook my head. He didn't push. We went inside, found a booth in the corner. The smell of fries and old beer hung in the air. I told him everything, every word I heard from that call. How she laughed, how casual she sounded. Ryan didn't interrupt, just listened. When I finished, he sighed and leaned back. "Man, I never liked her friends," he said. "They're the type that cheer for bad decisions." I nodded, staring at the table. "I don't even know what to do," I said. "Do I confront her? Do I walk away?" He looked at me straight. "You already know the answer." He was right. There was no fixing this. Something inside me shifted that night. The love I felt turned cold. I didn't want revenge. I wanted peace. The next morning, I booked a cheap hotel near work. One bed, no distractions, just space to breathe. I spent the night staring at the ceiling. Her voice played in my head on repeat. The words, "it just happened," burned like acid. By sunrise, I had made up my mind. I opened my laptop and searched for a divorce lawyer. Took me an hour to find someone decent. Middle-aged guy, sharp eyes, no small talk. We met the next day. He asked me for details, then asked if I had proof. I told him I heard her say it myself. He nodded slowly. "Do you own the house?" he asked. "Yes." "The car?" "Also mine." "Any kids?" "No." He smiled faintly. "Then this will be easy." For the first time in days, I felt in control. I signed the papers and left with a plan. That night, she texted me again. "Where are you? Please answer, I'm worried." I ignored it. I didn't owe her comfort anymore. A few days later, the papers were ready. I printed them at the hotel business center, neat and clean. Seeing her name next to mine on those pages felt final. The next morning, I drove home. She was there, sitting at the kitchen table. Her hair done, makeup perfect, trying to look innocent. "Ethan, where have you been?" she asked. I dropped the folder on the counter. "What's this?" she said. "Divorce papers." She blinked fast, like she misheard. "You're kidding." "No." Her voice rose, panicked. "You're ending our marriage over one mistake." "One," I said. "You ended it the second you opened that bathroom door." She froze, eyes wide. I told her I heard everything. She tried to lie, then tried to cry. None of it worked. I stood there calm, empty. "You ruined it," I said quietly. "I'm just finishing what you started." And for the first time, she had nothing left to say. Rachel left that day with a duffel bag and red eyes. She slammed the door, and the silence that followed felt clean. I sat on the couch for a long time, not moving. No yelling, no tears. Just relief mixed with disbelief. For the first time, I wasn't waiting for her to come back. I was done. The lawyer filed the papers that same week. It should have ended there, but she wasn't finished. 2 days later, my phone started blowing up. Texts from my cousin, my mom, even my aunt. They all asked the same thing. "Why did you leave Rachel?" Apparently, she'd been telling everyone I abandoned her. She said I had a breakdown and walked out for no reason. She made herself the victim. I stared at the messages in silence. She was rewriting the story to save her image. I ignored the calls at first. But then my mom phoned, crying and angry. "Ethan, what happened? Why would you do that to her?" I took a deep breath and told her the truth. I told her I heard Rachel on the phone. That she admitted sleeping with someone at that party. That she laughed about it like it meant nothing. My mom went quiet for a second. Then she said 3 words that grounded me. "I believe you." Within an hour, my family knew everything. They stopped calling with questions. They started calling with support. Rachel's story began to crumble fast. Her sister called me next, trying to smooth things over. "You probably misunderstood," she said. "Rachel isn't that kind of person." I cut her off mid-sentence. "I didn't misunderstand. I heard every word." She stammered, then hung up. That was when I decided to end her little performance. I called Rachel directly. "Why are you lying to everyone?" I asked. Her voice trembled. "What are you talking about?" "Don't play dumb. You told people I abandoned you." She sighed, pretending to sound calm. "I just didn't want them to think I was awful." "Too late for that," I said. She tried to justify it again, saying it was one mistake. "It wasn't supposed to go that far," she said quietly. "But it did," I replied. Then I told her the truth. I was recording the call. She freaked out instantly. "You can't record me without saying anything." "I already did," I said. "Now everyone will hear what really happened." I ended the call, saved the file and sent it out. Every family member, every friend who had asked me questions. No explanation, just the recording. Within hours, her phone must have exploded. Messages, silence, judgment, all heading her way. By the next day, I heard she was kicked out of her friend's place. No one wanted to deal with her drama. I didn't celebrate, but I didn't feel sorry either. The divorce was finalized soon after. I kept the house, the car, and the savings. She got nothing. Now the house is quiet, peaceful, and mine again. No secrets, no lies, no pretending. And every night I sleep better knowing I chose myself this time. The divorce became official last month. The papers arrived in the mail, cold and final. My name stood alone on every page. No more joint accounts, no shared anything. I walked through the house that night in silence. Every corner felt lighter without her. No perfume in the hallway, no glitter on the couch. Just peace. She messaged me once from a fake account. Said, "Hope you're doing okay." I didn't reply. She didn't deserve closure she never gave me. I blocked her and went for a walk. The air felt clearer than it had in years. I realized I didn't hate her anymore. I just didn't care. Hate means she still mattered, and she doesn't. I'm rebuilding, piece by piece. Learning how to live without looking over my shoulder. I don't rush, I don't chase, I just breathe. Maybe one day I'll love again. But for now, I'm fine being alone. Because silence isn't lonely when it's honest. And peace isn't empty when it's earned. She played her game. I survived it. And that's all the closure I'll ever need.